Hi there, Ramza. How are you? Hope you're well. It's been a long time since we've done a video. Hi Ruth, welcome. Please don't go. I am actually waiting for somebody who's going to co-host this session with me. So, yeah. Cheers to that. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for, I need to just check. So bear with me if I disturb the whole thing. Okay, so excuse my interferences. It's just so difficult to always like be on par with this whole thing, connecting and whatsoever. It's just so difficult. So, hi Fortunate, thank you for joining. Yeah, guys, like it's just so difficult. I don't know. Oh, you sent me a video request, okay? But
Okay. Hey, let me not hide our bottle. Excuse me. Hi, True Track. Yeah. So I can see it's waiting. It's waiting for you to connect with me.
Sorry. It was me that was disturbing you with the call.
I know. So it was going to end up being the same one as the Facebook one. How come I can't see myself? Why did this video thing? Can you see my whole self?
You can. Well, it's because your camera is away from your face, but it's you see you're doing. Depends how you position yourself. I'm holding my phone.
Hmm?
I'm holding my phone. That's why.
Okay, I can sit like this. So far, I like to see myself when I talk. So yes, Narcisse, welcome to Siwela Wines. Oh, finally, my
Thank
God,
you.
finally. Okay, we need to say hi to everybody that just joined in. Hi, everyone. So yeah, welcome. Don't go away. Yeah, we've been struggling, hey? Literally felt like my day was ruined because the whole day I had planned out this whole thing, you know? It was like the schedule for the day. And then it didn't even happen.
That's how things are. You can plan for something, but you must always expect the unexpected. I mean, it's not like you always do this, so it's normal if you struggle.
Okay, somebody said, Lady Bird said they can't see me. Ish, guys, like, why is it mad? Anyways, let's continue with the conversation, right? So, you know, we've been doing a whole lot of videos around wine. You know, we've done a lot of videos around wine 101 for some time now. So I thought it would be really nice to talk about something, you know, that everybody can relate to. And that's something, I know I didn't tell you, but you know, as you can see, the title that we had on the previous, on Facebook Live, live event that we created, it was merely just about passion. And it's just, you know, trying to talk about, you know, like passion, like everybody has got a passion for something. I mean, even for you, I mean, I don't know what it is that you're passionate about, but I can tell that you are somebody who is really passionate. Even though I don't know what it is, or I can't point out exactly what is Narcisse passionate about, but I can see that you are a passionate person, if you know what I mean. And obviously, passion is not really about, some people are not passionate about just one thing. Like, you know, I'm passionate about wine. It's the only thing I'm passionate about. So, yeah, I just wanted to like speak to somebody, you know, like let's share, let's talk about this whole passion thing. What are you passionate about?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask the guys on the. So, in simple words, the one thing that I'm very passionate about is martial arts, all in a nutshell. Boom.
Okay.
So it's the reason for a lot of things. If I have to think back, like when we first came to, well, not when you first, when we decided to come and stay in South Africa, the very first book I ever picked up at French school in town, in Gardens, was a book on judo. And it just drew me. Obviously, my family, mostly my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family as well, but mostly my mom. There's a lot of martial arts fanatics. I've got grandfathers or uncles that served in the military. So everything to do with combat or martial arts, I can assume that it is in my genes, more or less. So to speak. But you see, on a basic level, martial arts it's not just about kicking and punching. On a very basic level, if you think about it, if we're speaking about human civilization, the first thing that people usually do when they gain knowledge. So, for example, if you know how to make a fire, right? In ancient times, we live in safer times now, but in ancient times, people would usually focus on how can they survive. So martial arts is it's a thing that's part of humanity. It can start with learning how to hunt wolves to protect your sheep, and then learning how to protect yourself from your neighbors, and so on and so forth. So there's different aspects, and then there's also the aspect of health. So, for example, with China, it's not the only country, but it's one of the countries where martial arts, for example, plays a great role. Even now, it has played such a great role in the culture that it's basically fused in. Every human culture has always had some form of martial arts. I mean, in South Africa, with the Guni people, if you look like at the East Coast, they have stick fighting, for example.
Yeah.
You know, how do they train the warriors? They play, the boys will play games with the stick fighting, but they're preparing shoot they have to go to war. So I mean, and then also if soldiers are going to war and they're campaigning and they want to drink something, someone probably discovered fermented wine and then fermented grape. But yeah, so martial arts has been one of my passions, and that leads to other things, you know. So it's not about beating up people or overpowering people. No, a lot of people usually it's because they got bullied. That's why they took on the martial arts. With me, no, it's just that I love sports competition, and because you're moving your body, so you can also apply. There's a lot of physics to it, so it can go on. There's also a psychological aspect to it. It goes deep, basically.
Okay. No, I've learned something new today because, you know, for some of us who are not really informed or clued up or, yeah, interested in physical stuff, like you just explained what martial arts is. I think it's something like I feel what speaking to you now, I feel like I've learned something. You know, to realize that martial arts is not about punching people and fighting. It's a lot more. And also, as we speak about passion today, it's also something that, you know, you're passionate about. I mean, imagine you are actually passionate about martial arts.
Martial arts. Yeah, just in general, martial arts.
You see what I mean? So it's like, okay, if some people, when they're watching this video, they would also wonder, what is martial arts? Or when we speak about passion as a subject, one wouldn't really think that there would be someone out there who could be passionate in martial arts. You know what I mean? And like you said, that the fact that's that specific passion you have leads to many other things. You know, you spoke about psychological stuff and health wise, and you know what I mean? And I think also all those things do play a role in like in driving your everyday forces, you know. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it in English. You know, sometimes
I'll explain it. I'll explain it. So, I was watching your live video when it was first on Facebook before we had that old issue. What you're speaking about is what the Japanese, there's actually a book, I need to read it. I might download it, don't tell on me. It's called Ikagai. And what Ikagai actually means.
oh, I know Ikigai. I know it. I know it. Oh my gosh, I know it. I know it.
You're
I
speaking
know
about
it.
Ikagai. So you read the book.
I don't know the book, but I know Ikigai. Like, that's what everybody should have. If you don't have an Ikigai, like, it's over.
And in French, you say raison d'être, your reason for being alive.
Oh my God.
So I'm not a psychologist, but you will notice some people that are depressed or down, or they're having an what's the another term, but I can't. It's a mouthful. They're having a crisis of existence. Is basically it. Is that they don't have an ikigai, so their life is meaningless. Okay, why am I getting up in the morning? Why am I going to work? Like, it happens to everybody. Everybody is following material things, but then halfway through, or let's say somebody that's a doctor or a chartered accountant or whatever, he or she has a high salary, but then one day they wake up in the morning like, why am I doing this? I hate this. This is meaningless. They don't have an ikigai. So,
yeah.
like you said, how can you monetize your passion? An ikigai is it's your passion is part of it, but it's not just being passionate. It's not just being emotional, you know? Not everybody can. I mean, even with you, with Siwela Wines, you had to intern where you were not really getting paid, and then you went to the store, you were getting paid. So it was a whole process, you know? So you can't just be like the problem that I have, because the thing is, when we watch a lot of those YouTube videos, especially nowadays, even with Gary Vee, I don't like Gary Vee anymore because Gary Vee.
I thought I was the only one. Like, Gary Vee lost me somewhere there, and I was like, nah, Gary.
Because he's not real. He's fitting into this PC culture where he's talking about empathy. I'm like, look, Gary. The thing is, in the beginning, he was very real.
Yeah.
Another guy that I like to listen to is Patrick Bet-David on you. I'll send you a link later. Valuetainment. Okay, he has. Obviously, I don't agree with everything, but he has some nice clips that if you're running a business, I mean, his page is strictly for entrepreneurs. So if you're young, 15 or whatever, he gives you good tips. So I went into the tangent, but going back to what I was trying to say is, you can't just follow your passion and just drop your job, you know, like just aimlessly. You get what I'm trying to say? Okay, you could do that, but what I'm trying to say, it's always good to have a plan, because life is always going to have challenges. Just make sure those challenges don't come from you. Does that make sense? So yeah, so you can't just, let me not say you can't just, but you need to have a plan. And with Ikigai, you will have struggle. Life has pain. If you decide to lose weight, it's some form of pain. You need, you know, there's always struggle and pain. We're built for struggle. So it's not just cloud nine, everything is hunky-dory. For example, you woke up this morning, or maybe yesterday, last week, and you planned for this, and you had small frustrations. It was not working on Facebook. You went back and forth. That's things. These things are always going to happen. I mean, you can even with Siwela Wines. Okay, I'm not saying with Siwela Wines, but let's say you started a business venture, and things fall apart with your co-founder. I mean, look at the story of Apple with Steve Jobs. People think it was all sweet and sunshine. It wasn't. They fired him from his own company when he started. That's life.
Yeah, that's very important to know. You know, when you raise that, I think a lot of us, we sort of like think that life is all about, you know, getting like going into something and getting it right from the first go, you know, touching something and then find like all of a sudden it just works out. I was invited to one of, I can't mention the organization's name, but I was really excited because it was like one of the biggest companies in South Africa. So like not even in South Africa, but international companies, I mean, so big. And they've invited me to come and have a talk with their team. So just share my story and stuff like that. And one of the guys asked me if I ever one time woke up and felt like, no man, I think I'm just gonna quit. This is not going to work out. So I said, it's difficult for me to do that because wine is the only thing I know. If I'm not doing wine, what would I be doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Like I literally only have experience and interest in wine. That's the only thing I could think of. So should Siwela Wines not work out the way I planned or hoped for, I think I would be forced to work for another wine company.
And recreate Siwela again.
I'll be forced to. I'll be forced to. So, and I also said that I remember this other time, you know, I founded the business straight from my own savings, and I took a loan to also supplement that while I was still working. And then as soon as there was an opportunity for me to get retrenched, I took that opportunity to basically leave Distal, and whatever monies that was due to me in the form of payouts, provident funds, I literally, when I say literally, I don't mean that I bought myself one dress or a bottle of wine or went out for dinner. I never did that. I took every cent of it and I invested it into the business. And the business needed that at the time, you know. It was at the time where I felt that I needed to strongly build this business. And also at the same time, there was no way I could get money. You don't just wake up and get funding. You don't just wake up and get investors, you know. And also when you're starting off a business, whether it's small or big or you have investors or whatsoever, you're actually not even generating income. Like you're not generating profit. You might be selling a few bottles or so, but you're not generating profit. And also at that time, the amount of wine we sold every month was actually very small to even be considered, you know. If somebody were to ask you like, okay, Sweetness, tell me, you actually leaving your job for a business whereby you sell less than 100 bottles a month, but I had to do it because it was also in conflict with what I was doing at my previous job. And it was getting a bit too much, emotionally, physically, and everything. I mean, I was working shifts, so to have to combine the two jobs, it was draining emotionally, physically, and I felt like it wasn't good for me. One of them had to actually be compromised. So I thought it's better just take a leap of faith and go for this, you know? So at that present time, when you see yourself taking every cent that you were ever given an opportunity to generate in your life, and you put it into a business that you don't even know tomorrow if people are going to buy your wine, if you're going to survive another day. But it was literally the only option you have, because remember, if you don't do that, you might as well stop running the business. So you were like in between, continuing or stopping, you know, or rather just let this whole thing go and continue working for other people. And oh, it was so painful. It was so painful. I almost went into a mini depression. I was like, oh my God, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's rewarding because you get to do what you love doing. And yeah, at least at the end of it, you can still survive. I mean, I'm talking about last year, June. And last year, June till today, it means that the business is still alive. You know, I'm still selling 1 or 2 bottles. So it wasn't a sacrifice for nothing, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So, and in your opinion,
You see, the thing is this: like, even if, let's say, worst case scenario, you had failed, your victory is not in you making money now. Your victory is in having started your own wine. Just that is already a victory, and then everything else, even your failure, is a victory. Because, I mean, how old are you? No, you're 30, so we're the same age, right? You should be proud. Like, you're 30 years old. If you had to die today, what have you done? You can say, hey, I created my own wine. Like, you drinking your own wine. Just move the bottle there so we can see it. Like the Siwela song, yeah. But the lighting is blocking it, but it's fine. But what I'm basically saying is, you have your own wine and you're drinking your own wine. I don't know if does that make sense to you? Like, let's say you were there, and then somebody, I've got my own wine bottle. Like, what can they say? You know, they're busy drinking other wine bottle. You drinking your own wine bottle. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what you should do? You should, like, do they sell it? I was going to ask you, in South Africa, do they sell it like at? I know you guys sell it online. I looked online, but are you? Is there wide distribution nationwide already, or?
No, not nationwide already, but there are a couple of retail stores that sell it. So we have it at the spa in Johannesburg at Jean Avenue in Centurion, and also R55 in Centurion. Oh my God, thank you so much. Let me see. Let's just take a moment to reply. Just say hi to everyone. Since we've been talking, I don't know if everyone is still online or what. It's just okay. I just want to say Absolute, thank you so much. So Absolute says that this is very amazing. So thank you, Absolute. And also everybody who just joined in or who is joining in. You know, people who come in and they go, thank you, thank you.
It's my ugly face. It's scaring them.
No, I think sometimes when you log onto when you join in a video session and maybe you don't understand what it is that is being discussed, and then you feel this is not interesting for me. But yeah. So in your opinion, Narcisse, like, you know, when we talk about being passionate about stuff, it's not always the case whereby you can turn your passion into a career, or you can make money out of your career, out of your passion. So there's always a thin line between you following your passion and you making money out of your passion. Like, for example, most white people or most white parents, the way we think, would allow their kids to play some sport and actually turn it into a career or follow a dancing career or whatsoever. But as people, you can't tell your parents that you're just going to go and make wine. You know, even today, my mom still struggles with the idea that she's like, you left an entire biotechnology career, because to her, being in the lab, wearing a white lab coat is much more fulfilling than being around wine.
But the thing is, you actually haven't. You are basically entrenched in biotechnology. If anything that I learned with biotechnology, I mean, in simple words, it's basically just microbiology in combination with biochemistry. But the one thing about biotechnology, it's more of application than being an academic. It's more of creating a product for the market. So you basically, that's how we did process tech. It's about business. You know, it's got that business aspect to it. I'm not saying that it doesn't have an academic aspect to it, but I mean, if you're somebody if you're very imaginative and creative, it's going to take you in the business aspect, because you're going to be like, oh, I can create a product for that. Or if you know what I mean? Like, if you want to mass produce, like, I had crazy ideas. I was like, you know that there's bacteria that process gold. Basically, they're producing gold. But the reason why they don't use it in industry is because the amount of gold is very insignificant. But it's still something. No, I'm saying there's bacteria, right? That's, I think it's in the sea. Let me just Google it quickly. Bacteria that produce gold.
Oh, so yes. amazing though. It's amazing just how much, how important bacteria is in our everyday life.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's called Cypriphilis metallurgans that produce gold during the process of own detoxification from heavy metals. But I'm sure, yeah, I think this has got to do more. Certain bacteria produce tiny gold nuggets. Okay, but that just, but I mean, it's the same thing with wine on basic level. It's a microbe, which is a eukaryote, a yeast producing alcohol,
yes,
which is basically, this is going to be funny, but the yeast is basically shitting alcohol, as you know, because during the process, the alcohol is actually poison to the yeast. It is,
yes,
right? Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So it's like it's surrounded by its own shit, and it's like, oh shit, you have to balance it out.
No, that's true. That's true. And I think, you know what? I think, when we think about, microbiology and the impact or the effect, well, I don't know how to say it, but even when we relate to wine, I wouldn't have had an interest or knowledge about wine, but just the fact that, we were able to study microorganisms, we were able to understand the roles of yeast, into certain biological processes such as fermentation, and therefore leading to the production of whether cheese, beer, or wine, or whatsoever. I think that is just of paramount, like, effect. You know what I mean? Because without literally boosting right now, fermentation and biotechnology is far more important than winemaking, if you know what I mean. For you as a winemaker to even begin to, monitor the process of winemaking, you need to have the basic understanding of how microorganisms operate, of, how is this yeast going to optimally operate for me to produce this final product. So, like, I don't know, like, oh no, cheers to cheers to the family biotechnology.
Yeah, because it's a wide range. I mean, the same, and that one thing that really interested me about industrial fermentation was how you can even use it to produce or various of things. But one of the things is even vitamins. Basically, your employees or your workers or the microbes, whether it's a bacteria, a yeast, well,
Yeah.
not a virus, but you know what I mean. With production of medicines, I had a crazy idea where I said if you could use biotechnology as a poor man's method to uplift your economy. I mean, for a simple thing. I'm not really going to use South Africa because South Africa is very industrialized, but I was going to say, if I could go back to Congo and start a small lab where I'm mass producing, let's say, vitamin C, for example, using E. coli, for example, using a recombinant DNA technology. I mean, I'm sure that's probably old now, but just a very simple. What I'm basically trying to say is, it's the same way as when you made the watermelon wine. You didn't need a lot of things to create it. You just needed to know the know-how and then create it.
Yeah. And I basically just let nature take care of its course. And all I needed was the right conditions in terms of temperature. And I needed to have my yeast, or basically the yeast was the one doing all the work. And I was just there monitoring. So yeah, I mean, touching with the idea of watermelon wine, I mean, those are the things that, as people coming into the industry, like young people coming into an industry that is already developed, like myself, those are the things that I feel that we need to, like, especially as a scientist, play around with, see how innovative one can get. I mean, I'm already seeing, the possibility of fermenting or producing fruit wine that is much more accessible than even in taste and even in price than the usual wine that can be packaged even differently from the usual way of bottling wine. You know what I mean? I know there's a new trend of packaging wine in cans, but that for me, that is still wine, if you know what I mean. It doesn't change the fact that that's still wine at the end of the day. If I don't drink wine, I'm not going to drink that because it's still wine. So, yeah.
But what I was going to say is, I mean, your story is very amazing. Your given your age, you know, and like a lot of feminists like to say, because you're a woman, you know, but I see you as an individual. At the end of the day, you've done, let's say you've done great things. What was I going to say now? You like you're already doing it. What you can also do is you can have this on LinkedIn. Because remember when I told you if you have a LinkedIn page, you have your own profile. But what you can do is you can actually create a page for Siwela Wines the same way you have a page on your Facebook. And then there you can have your wine academy and talk about the business aspects of, I mean, the business aspects to get to for the audience. I mean, you can do that now. You can start, you know. Going back to what you're saying about monetizing your passion, like with me, for example, I have my website, dailyjuice.com, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to create like a social media martial arts. It's not an app yet, but it's a website. So there's a forum page. But what I talk about is let's talk about traditional martial arts and how do I make money. It's either via Google AdWords or Amazon Associates. I'm not really making a lot of money because the next step now is how do I work with the Google AdSense word? How do I work with the Amazon it's called Amazon Associates, the Amazon ads, and then how do I also present the website, the web design, so those other challenges. And obviously there's also the story of my books. So I can relate when you told me, when you said now you used to work and focus on Siwela Wines and how that was draining you, right?
Yes.
Like with me, I wrote, because I also write books, I sell on Kindle. And that's a whole different nightmare. But I was happy that I actually wrote a book. So the first one I published in 2017, and then I published Harmonious first, which is basically 3 books all put into one. And wow. I did 2. I started sometime in 2018, and I was done in 2019. But I was working at online gambling company in Century City. I'm not going to mention the name, but yeah, never mind. I'm going to mention the name. I used to work at Betway in Century City, so we were working night shifts. I was doing that, and then I was also training for my Tai Chi Chuan instructor certificate. So some days I would not go to training because I was working, and then on the days I was off, I was training, and I also train at work during my lunch hour because I'm crazy like that. But what happened is I eventually got sick at work because it's basically I was a sports host, so it's like it's contact center vibes. So if the pay was very good, but this is when money is not really important. It's when you really get drained. So you imagine you're working from 10 till 6 in the morning on a Sunday, or you do that 4 times. You feel drained by the 3rd day. And then why I got sick is because people are always moving. So today this is your seat, tomorrow is the next seat. So if somebody is sick, I end up getting an upper respiratory tract infection. And I got it like in the beginning of 2019. I got it again, like sometime in June, July. And then I eventually resigned. By the time it was like October time, yeah. I also ended up getting tonsillitis, but that's another story. When I started there, yeah. So, but the point I was trying to make is I can understand it's hard working your job and then working on your business.
Yeah.
But you have to do it for a certain amount of time before you drop the one or the other.
Absolutely, definitely. There was no way you could just go into something you don't even like. At least for me, I knew, well, I believed that it was going to work, you know, and I enjoyed doing it. But, no. There was times, Narcisse, where I worked, because I used to work shifts. So I would work night shift the whole week, and during the day, the whole week, I'd have to meet up with people, do presentations, attend day events. It was crazy. I was like, no, this is not good for me. It's not good for like my current employer as well, because that means you're not bringing the whole you. You're not being efficient at work either, you know. So I thought, no, one of them had to go, but it wasn't going to be my passion for wine.
Yeah, but I mean, your think of it. I mean, your business will boom most definitely. I mean, when I see, I don't know if you're a millionaire yet, but you should be on the Forbes magazine just for the fact that you have your own wine. You should be there.
No,
I saw that you posted.
I want to make my first million at least this year. Okay, not that I'm exposing details, but like if I would, like I need to make my first million in this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
really amazing.
That's what I'm saying. You should attack. You should be on LinkedIn the same way you do your the Siwela LinkedIn thing should go up. Because the thing is, it's even better when you have a team. Because I saw your website. You guys are a team. So
yes.
Obviously, when this whole COVID pandemic thing is over, and you get more people, you can start opening up. I mean, you can even start today, your LinkedIn profile page, and also on TikTok, like your one video, the one that you posted. I saw that you already had posted it on TikTok. It had it's got like 1,000 views. When you're actually talking about, because look, whether people don't like it or not, if you're a woman and you're very beautiful, you're gonna get a lot of views on TikTok. But you still need to add value. So you're actually telling them how to hold a wine glass, and then boom, and that's how you can advertise Siwela. And then you can obviously, yeah. So because that's the other thing about TikTok, and then you got the music in the background. Because I was like, no, your TikTok page can obviously get a lot of views. It's just how you, if you still talk about wine, you show short clips on how to process wine, whatever. You have music or you make it fun. That's the key word. As long as you're having fun, and then business will be booming. It's just the marketing aspect.
Yeah, I know, but we will get there. And my battery is about to die, so I think we should just wrap it off. And so we'll see what else or when we can have a chat again. But yeah, it's been really nice talking to you, and I hope that like our viewers had a bit of inspiration, or you know, I recently had a talk with someone on just a video that we posted on Facebook today that was a total failure, and that person just really sent a message to say that they were inspired by what we were talking about. They're going through like the most hardest time of their lives, but having to hear, you know, us talking about that little bit about passion and all those things, they actually feel a bit much more, what's the word, more hopeful. So
you inspired me. Was it last year? When did we meet up again? Was it last year or was it 2018?
last year or 2018. Okay, just the time goes by very fast.
It was 2018, and I remember, and then when I connected with you, because we didn't even, when I connected with you again on Facebook, and I said Siwela Wines, and remember I started to share, and I still tagged Fundo, you know, Fundo, Mashlele, and I was like, yo, look, check, you know, and I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna send you that picture of you when we in the group. I think it was micro. It wasn't biochem. I think it was micro, and you the front of the group.
Really? Okay, send me. I want to see it.
I'll send it to you. And I'm just there like a clown, like always. But anyway. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want us to continue talking and like talking about more building and more influential and more inspiring, subjects or whatsoever. So yeah, because my battery is about to die, so I need to like end this session.
Okay. No problemo. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so everybody who watched this live video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you find this very informative, and yeah, we'll be bringing more content of this nature. And if you're looking to order any of our wines, you're more than welcome to drop us a DM and then advise on what you are looking to order. We do deliver anywhere in this country. So yeah, thank you. See you soon.